Now, this video is not to bash any specific gender, as I do not promote gender wars. This video is just to explain my experiences and the dysfunction I have seen within the community. I fully support 100% women's rights, and I do support that women should have equality, the same as men. But what I do not support is misandry, and I do not support misogyny. I believe that everybody should be treated equally and fairly. It's Amber J. Lee. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's learn, pretty girls. And also, while you're here, just follow my Instagram, as I also post updates. Now, after that is said, let's get into this video really this time. I used to follow a bunch of feminist women on Instagram and on Twitter, but recently one feminist was exposed for someone who I always thought she was, and I thought how feminists really were. And a lot of feminists that I know, especially modern feminists, they work from a place of hurt. So it's this famous feminist on Twitter. I'm going to put the name right here. I'm going to put the tweet that she used to tweet all right here. She used to always tweet about degrading men, how she used to hate the idea of marriage, how she never wanted to get married, and how people saying that she was old and unmarried was an insult, and how she didn't need men. And basically, she was an all-around misandrist. Just for a year later, after her promoting groups and telling people that you did not need a man, she popped up married. A lot of these feminist women on Twitter that you're seeing in these groups, they're only saying they hate men is because they're going through a heartbreak or they're going through a tough time with a man. But as soon as they find that man that they really want, they will drop all that feminist bullcrap and they will hop into a marriage just to be a traditional wife and submit to their man. I see it time and time again. These people are working from a place of hurt. They're screaming, I hate men, because they decided to deal with a trash man. Instead of going to seek therapy, they just run into modern feminism and support and promote a gender war, just for them to hop out of that gender war once they find somebody to marry. So now people and all the little girls that she has lied to and told them that they don't need a man to survive and that they don't need a man to do anything, which you don't. But for her to promote that, just knowing deep down inside she wants to get married, and to pop out married and remove herself as a feminist, remove the word feminist from her bio and leave all her feminist allies hanging, it goes to show that a lot of feminists are like that. I've seen it with my own eyes. They want marriage. They don't want to be alone. But since they can't get who they want, they join a I hate men group. And it's just like, sis, why tell these people and sell a dream to people because your feelings are hurt behind guys that you chose to be with, or a guy that broke your heart? So deep down inside, I still want to get married, and I still believe there are good men out there. So I'm not going to promote I hate men just because it's one or two bad out the bunch. And that's what a lot of them are doing. They're selling a dream. Like this one right here, she's selling a dream. Feminism, a lot of these modern feminists are fake. They're operating from a place of hurt and rejection, and not because they really want to support the idea of women. But I'm going to talk about my experience in a feminist group that I joined in 2020. I never considered myself a hardcore modern feminist, but I used to always support women. So I joined a women's empowerment group on this app called Meetup in 2020. And when I got in there, I noticed a few red flags, and it was not what I thought it was. And I've been in the two groups that are like this. Even online, you'll see the dysfunction that I'm talking about. So when I got there, I was the youngest there, and they had completely different views than I had, and they had a completely different idea of women empowerment than I had. One, they didn't believe in marriage. They didn't believe in being a housewife. I would love to be a housewife. I would die to be a housewife, actually. And they did not believe that men should be the head of the household, which I believe men should be the head of the household. After about 3 or 4 meetups, I just stopped going, and I completely cut them off completely, because I noticed that this group was just geared towards hating men and not supporting women. I noticed that a lot of modern feminists are about bashing men rather than supporting women. And if they do support women, they're supporting women in their rights and wrongs, hindering them from growth. If you are wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong, man or woman, because I want you to grow from your mistakes. But these groups, they were supporting women in their right or wrongs. They can be dead wrong and telling them that they're right. And they were just doing anything to make the man seem wrong. And it's just like, we don't live in a world where women are never wrong. If that was the case, we would not have women prisons. If that was the case, we would not have women being locked up every other day. So once we went around the group and we started to tell our stories, different stories with men, that's when I picked up, this is just the I hate men movement covered up in woman empowerment. A lot of these women they just hate men. And so they're trying to say, I'm woman empowerment, because it's all because you hate men. That's what that just did. If you didn't hate men, you would not be empowering women. We went around the group and started hearing their stories. These women all came here after heartbreaks. They didn't come here because they wanted to come here like I did. They all came here after a man done them dirty, and now they're upset, so now they want to lift each other up and bash every single man in sight. And that's what they were doing. And so I just was like, so me being me, because I'm the only logical one there, I was like, well, not all men are like that. Immediately, the first word that shouted out this woman's mouth is pick me. I said, you know what? This is toxic. This is toxic because you're gaslighting each other, and you're actually doing more destruction to each other than help. Because you're telling them that the thing they're doing is not wrong, when in actuality it is wrong, and that's why they're going through what they're going through. But they don't want to hear that. They want to hear that all men are bad and everything they do is just so nice and dandy. Moral of the story, modern feminism or anti-men feminism goes against my religion. I'm a Christian woman. 1 Timothy 2 verse 11 through 15 says, and I quote, let a woman learn quietly with submissiveness. That group went against being submissive. I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. For Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived and became a transgressor. That she is saved through childbearing if they continue in faith and holiness with self-control. That group went completely against what God said. We're supposed to be submissive. We're not supposed to be aggressive. We're not supposed to hate our brethren, and we're not supposed to be deceitful. And that's everything that group was. That's everything anti-men feminism is. So if you're a Christian and you're out here shouting on Twitter, you hate men, I need you to pick up the Bible and really get it together. Another thing that I noticed, that a lot of them don't want equality. They kept saying, oh my gosh, we want equality. We want to be the same thing as a man. But they did not really want equality. And I'll show you how. The godliness in me will not allow me to try to hurt somebody else because I was hurt. I know that God would deal with that individual person. And I know not to blame I know not to put all men in one basket and generalize all of them because maybe one or two broke my heart. I know not to do that, because God had instilled that in me. He knows that will not get me anywhere moving from a place of hurt. These women did not want to be held to the same standards as men, yet they wanted equality. For example, I went on TikTok, and this woman was on TikTok, and she was like, oh my gosh, women, PSA, stay away from men who have a bunch of kids. The women in the comments were like, yeah, it's too much baggage, it doesn't work, and they were agreeing. So then somebody else commented, what about the women? Should women with kids not date men without kids? So that same woman, right here, I'm going to show you, that same woman said, yeah, it goes both ways. Women with kids have baggage. The same women who just were parading her were now in the comments calling her pick me and all other thing under the sun. I'm like, what happened to the equality? What happened? What happened to that energy? What happened? Oh, so when a man, when they say women don't date men with kids, it's oh yay. But when she say yeah and men don't date women with kids, it's like, no, that's not right. You should be able to do. It's the same thing. It goes both ways. Why do you guys think you guys are such the exception? Why does these rules apply to men but not you, but you want equality? Isn't that what feminism is about? Like, please tell me, am I tripping? Like, am I tripping? Am I tripping, Lord? Am I tripping? This is how that group operated. They could do the same thing a man can, but you could not say nothing to them about it. You could not say something. You could not say nothing, because if you said something, you were pick me. You could not say nothing. You couldn't say nothing. That woman could spit on a man first, and he'd spit on her back, but we had to attack that man. We could not go back after that woman. And it was just like, I don't operate like that. I don't operate that, because me, I'm an individualist. I go based off the individual. If you smack me, you can be a cow, pig, man, woman. You're getting smacked back. I don't defend people in their wrongs. I don't. The godliness will not allow me. That is of the devil. Period. And what really made me make this video is because recently I just was on a feminist Instagram TikTok live, and they were saying we simply hate men because men hate women. And I just was like, so if a man was treating you right and showing you that you deserve love, would you be here? And she stone cold said no. And I'm just like, so you guys are really just coming together and spew all these poison in these young girls' head, all because your heart is broken. For you to pop up and get married, and now this little girl has to deal with the trauma that you instilled inside of them. It's selfish, and it's not what feminism is really supposed to be about. Feminism was not made to do that. Not to be hateful and deceitful. It was not supposed to be that. And I'm not saying men are perfect. They're far from perfect. And it's a lot of loser men out there. It really is. But it's just not this is just not the way to go about it. Some really good guys out here, but y'all don't like them because you think they're unattractive, you think they're just not there. It's a lot of good guys out here. It really is. They may not be who you want, but there's a lot of good guys out here. But guess who was blocked? Me, because as soon as I started being the voice of reason, now all of a sudden I'm a pick me just because I'm trying to do what God told me to do. But guess what? You won't stop me, you demons. You won't. As you see that first fake feminist, she's straight and got married because at the end of the day, we as women, we don't want to be 60 and single. We don't want to be 75 on our deathbeds alone. We don't want a companion. We want love. We're human. Humans crave that connection. That's why I hate when you get on Twitter and start that fake gender war, because I know it's just something they say online and it's not real and it does not apply to real life. Idea of feminism has changed into this anti-men movement, and it's causing more destruction than help. Feminism was what it originally was supposed to be, about empowering, lifting up our sisters, telling our sisters what not to do, helping our sisters follow Christ, helping our sisters to follow whatever religion it is, and just make sure that we have the necessities that the men have. That's what I originally thought what equality was. That's what I came on there to promote. I did not go in the feminism group to support a I hate men movement. I didn't do it. I don't want to do it, and I don't support it. I am more afraid of women than I am men, simply because a lot of women's manipulation tactics and all the other stuff goes unchecked. Their aggression usually goes unchecked. I have experienced more wicked and evil women than I have wicked and evil men, and that's period. And they always say, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. Why do you think they say that? Women can be very vindictive and evil. So we're not going to get on the internet and pretend like women are always right and they aren't malicious, because a lot of them are nasty. We can be very rude and nasty the same way a man can. So let's not get on the internet and pretend like we're all perfect and our poop don't stink. Like, let's not do that. Line, I am an individualist. I support individuals. I support smart, honest, and loving people. Whether you're a man or a woman, I do not promote gender wars, and I am equal and I'm fair the way God wanted me to be. And that is why I do not support anti-men feminism.